In celebration of Mardi Gras next week, we decided to try a slow cooker jambalaya recipe. And this is one I found on Pinterest. And the ingredients were actually quite easy to find. A lot of them we had on hand, so there was very few items we had to buy from the store. We had to buy, I think, the sausage and some of the fresh produce. But other than that, it was nice having most of the supplies on hand. So my first picture that I have of the recipe is before we cooked it. This is all the raw ingredients mixed in the crock pot that will be simmering on low for 5 hours while we're at work. And then the next picture is the finished product of what we had. The recipe actually calls for the rice to be mixed in. I preferred to have it separate. That way we could kind of decide how much rice we wanted or not wanted with the recipe. But continue watching to see Scott and I's reaction as we taste test it. And hopefully this is a good one. It definitely smelled delicious when we came home.
The only things that I think that are worth mentioning about this was our crock pot doesn't have an automatic on.
Delayed start.
Yeah, it doesn't have a delayed start. So the only way we could really make this work while we were at work, because we work, was to put in a programmable timer and plug the crock pot into it this morning when we left, and it's supposed to cook for 4 or 5 hours.
4 to 5 hours, yep.
And just set the timer to turn off after 4 to 5 hours, like a Christmas tree timer. And but then, of course, when I get home, it's just been sitting there since noon, 1 o'clock, getting cold.
Yeah.
So then when you go to the next step of the cooking process,
which was adding the shrimp.
Add the shrimp and the basil, parsley. I think the shrimp would have cooked a lot faster if the rest of the stew was already hot, which it was already getting pretty cool by then.
Yep.
So we ended up, re-cooking it with the shrimp in it longer. So if we were to do it again, I'd say we could do it the same exact way, but just throw the shrimp in a skillet or however you want to do your shrimp, get them most of the way cooked, and then throw them in with the rest of the stuff and heat the whole thing up.
Yep. Okay, now the moment of truth. Let's see what it tastes like. It smells good, that's for sure. So, let's see.
I like it.
You need to savor each bite.
Very good.
I got a bite of the chicken. My chicken seems a little dry. Again, it could be from sitting in the crock pot so long.
Yeah. Sausage definitely has some kick to it, but it tastes good.
It does have kick, but I like that it offsets with the rice well.
Yeah. And the rice does have flavor to it with being cooked in the drained water and sauce.
Yeah. My shrimp is probably a little undercooked. You don't really notice some of the vegetables in it. I like onions. I don't really prefer peppers, but in something like this, it's fine. There were celery in it, and I really don't like celery in food, especially if it's crunchy. And I don't even notice so far that the celery's in here. So.
Good way to sneak the vegetables in on your kids.
Yeah. Or husbands.
We're just big kids.
So what do you think? Do you think we should start a new tradition and find a piece of sausage or chicken and
throw it at my face? I don't think it's necessary.
I did such a good job last time.
You did. Only took you 2 passes.
Did. Okay, well, we're gonna finish eating our food. I don't think you really need to see us eating the rest of this. But it was good. And you were doing this for Mardi Gras, trying something different. And it's a nice recipe, again, with the slow cooker. I did it the night before, prepping everything, and then this morning it was easy enough to just put the slow cooker on, and like Scott said, we had the timer on it, and worked out not too bad, especially if you're busy. It worked out well. So I'd say, this was a thumbs up on this one.
Yeah, it's a keeper.
It's a keeper. Thanks, guys, for watching, and please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.